Top of the league, South fans. It's been a while, but it's, sweeter than ever. What a performance. I think it was certainly our best performance so far this season, South fans. Of course, we've come away with a 1-0 victory here at Lakeside against a pretty good Dandenong Thunder. An 85th minute strike by Jerry Salathos. He broke the fort, basically. The pressure had been building, throughout the second half. South Melbourne, through the kitchen sink, really, and more at Dandenong Thunder, who, were proving to be resilient, with their keeper making a couple of brilliant saves and, of course, their defence holding up. But, when Jerry Salathos was played brilliantly in by Brad Norton, approximately in the 85th minute, he got into a very dangerous position inside the box, on the byline. Did he actually mean to shoot? Was it deflected in? My initial feeling is he tried to cut the ball back and maybe the keeper parried it into the net. But, the replay was inconclusive. No one in the stadium cared, South fans. I'd say there's probably 600 to 700 South fans in tonight here on a Wednesday, which is, a pretty good crowd given it's midweek. There's work tomorrow, and that's only an estimate. It may have been more, but the stadium went, absolutely, potty, for the lack of a better word. The people who attended, I think, are starting to believe that, South Melbourne has a strong base this season. Again, we didn't concede. To be fair, goalkeeper Piers Clark, who for me is one of the best keepers in Australian football, he keeps proving that week by week, every performance, even though he has one of the best defences in Australian football in front of him, arguably the best current defence in Australian football in front of him. He was called on to make a good save, a sharp save in the 41st minute by Suleimani. He was able, to basically dive down to his right and pull off a very sharp save. Suleimani had scored an absolutely cracking goal against the Eastern Lions about 2 weeks ago. I'd seen it. He was 25, 30 yards out. He showed he can really hit a football. And in the 41st minute today, that was really Dandenong Thunder's only chance. And like all great keepers, to be fair, and also great teams, who are strong defensively, when the keeper is called into action, it could be once or twice a game, the keeper usually comes up trumps and stands up tall and makes that big save. And Piers Clark again did that today. And I guess we went into the sheds, it was 0-0 at halftime. It was one of those first halves. Look, I didn't really feel that, we were absolutely dominant. It was a relatively well-balanced game. We had, more of the chances, but we really hadn't put our foot down. Credit to Esteban Quintas. He did embark on some interesting rotation today. Luke Pavlou came back in. Of course, he wasn't in the squad against Altona Magic. And to be fair to Luke Pavlou, in my opinion, there were many good performers today, but Luke Pavlou was certainly one of South Melbourne's better performers. Really put his name out there and said, I'm still available. I'm here. I can play football at the highest level here in the NPL Victoria. And he did that today. He marshalled South Melbourne's midfield. Really stood out. Good football quality as well. Very, very good, obviously, in the contest at challenging, putting himself about. Great performance, Luke Pavlou. Perry Lambropoulos as well, got his first start of the season. 65 minutes, put in a decent shift. Allowed Brad Norton, to hopefully rest up for the FFA Cup tie on Saturday against Werribee. But when Brad Norton came on, approximately in the 65th minute, I think that was the marker for South Melbourne to start rising their tempo. And I just felt, from that moment onwards, we absolutely did do that. Norton was instrumental. We then threw on, Daniel Clark, who was also rested today. We saw, interestingly enough, actually, it's worth mentioning that Ben Gibber did start today at right back. We had Luke Adams, Liram Almazi, and I think Marko Jankovic almost playing a back three with two wing backs in Gibber and Perry Lambropoulos to start off the game. And, Ben Gibber showed, to his credit, athletically, he is, a fantastic player. And I have spoken to some of his junior coaches in the past, actually just one junior coach who told me, that he is a player with immense work rate, very gifted athletically, and to his credit, we've seen him develop over the last 2 or 3 years. He's been ready for senior football. He hasn't really played all that much this year, and for Esteban Quintas to throw him in there, and for Ben Gibber to really stand up and perform well. He even put in a couple of decent crosses. That was one area where he was clearly needing improvement, especially, playing football at the highest level here in the NPL Victoria. He put in a couple of great crosses in the right area. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish them off. But all in all, a good performance from Ben Gibber. You know, there were a couple of times as well where he had to track back defensively. We know, as we just mentioned, athletically, he is, you know, tremendously gifted, put in a good challenge. And all in all has shown that, you know, he's present, he's ready, he can help, you know, this South Melbourne team. And yeah, he's a great story for the South Melbourne, I guess, youth development system, and hopefully we see more of him this season. It's worth mentioning, you know, as part of the rotation, new signing Freddie Say, he wasn't in the squad. Marcus Schroen wasn't in the squad. I'll try to do some follow-up regarding that. Hopefully he pulled up okay. He only played 15, 20 minutes against Altona. I know, you know, his body hasn't played football for a while. He was out for 5 weeks after playing approximately 60 minutes in a preseason match against St. Albans. I'm really hopeful, you know, that, yeah, he's okay, and hopefully he's able to play against Werribee. But it was good to see rotation, you know, resting Jake Marshall, Daniel Clark, you know, for approximately 60, 65, 70 minutes, Brad Norton for 65 minutes, you know, puts us in good stead for the game against Werribee. But as mentioned earlier, when Brad Norton came on in the 65th minute, he really showed, you know, some great, you know, how can I put it? Like, he basically started pushing forward, you know, like the Brad Norton we've always known in full flight, you know, likes to push forward, makes those nice runs, breaks the lines really well. And today, when he put through Jerry Salados with that, you know, low pass in the 85th minute, of course, we've already described it. And then Jerry somehow put the ball in the back of the net. We'll need to interview Jerry to actually see, you know, if he shot or if the goalkeeper parried it in. You know, that was what Brad Norton deserved, because he really impacted the game. And also full credit as well to Zach Bates when he came on. I think this season he's definitely taken, you know, the next step in terms of being able to impact games. He's regularly getting 20, 25 minutes. And when he's coming on, he's always, you know, he's working hard. He's using his pace in dangerous areas. He's quite confident as well running at players. He had a moment late in the game where he took on 2-3 players. You know, unfortunately, we weren't able to get a chance from that, off that. I think maybe he was fouled or, I think that was the case from memory, but, you know, he also impacted the game. When Daniel Clark came on, his impact probably wasn't as profound as Norton's in particular. But, you know, he's a classy player, Daniel Clark. He did have a moment, I think, where he was a bit rusty. He totally placed the ball, you know, way wide when we were probably far advanced in the pitch, you know, approximately in the 70, 75th minute. But, you know, to be able to bring those sort of players on, you know, is something that South Melbourne hasn't had really for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's a credit to the way we've put our squad together this season that we were able to rotate, we were able to squeeze down in on Thunder. And I know I haven't described the second half all that much, but effectively for the last probably 25 to 30 minutes, you know, we really started to squeeze down in on Thunder. We created, you know, multiple glorious chances. There was one when Josh Wallen was played in brilliantly from Jerry Salados, you know, a well-weighted, I guess, crossfield ball. The down in on Thunder defence, you know, just missed it. Wallen was played in. I probably would have shot if I was in the same position. I was hoping Wallen would lash it. I guess he tried to play the percentage game. He cut it back to Sawyer, who got a good connection, you know, across the keeper. I guess the keeper was coming across goals, so he needed to adjust and go the other way. Ultimately, it wasn't enough across the keeper, and the Danny on Thunder keeper pulled off a great reflex save, I think with his feet, you know, to deny us that goal. We had a corner from Jerry Salados, you know, that went to the back post. I think Yankovic was there, got a good connection. You know, everyone in the stand thought it was going to go in, but again, the Danny on Thunder keeper was well placed. It's also worth mentioning that in today's game, I think we saw Henry Hall take a step up in confidence. You know, it was great to see him, you know, obviously playing at Lakeside Stadium in front of a home crowd. He was getting the ball a little bit deeper, starting to run our offense a little bit more, got into the box 2 or 3 times in that dangerous position, you know, on the edge of the box. Great balls both times across the box. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish it. So that was also for me a really, really big positive that, you know, Henry Hall started to involve in himself more. He has tremendous talent. Hopefully he just keeps on building, because he is a player, you know, with almost unlimited potential. He's a perfect age, has great technical quality. You know, once we start seeing him fully unleashed, get regular goals and assists, I think, you know, we might be witnessing the birth of a really special player, South fans. As mentioned, very briefly, our defence was rock solid again. As I said, we only really gave up one really good chance. It was a long-range effort, a great effort by Suleimani. Thunder, to their credit, are no easy beats, in my opinion. They'll comfortably be mid-table. If they get some results go their way, they might be able to start putting pressure on the Six. They do have quality players. They did put us under pressure occasionally, but yeah, we have great aerial defenders. Marko Jankovic, Luke Adams, Liram Almazi was superb today. I mean, he showed an element to his game which both him and Jankovic have in spades, which is very, very rare in defenders in general all over the world, especially in Australian football. And that's the ability to take the ball up, maybe even take on one or two players and distribute the ball. When a defender's able to do that, you gain two or three players as an advantage, really, as basically that defender glides past those players. Almazi did that multiple times today. He was great defensively. What an option to have for South Melbourne. Overall, South fans, I think probably our overall best performance. It was great to do it at home in terms of, really squeezing them, really putting the pressure and, finally getting that goal, which hopefully will be great for our confidence. We now go Saturday, I believe, to Hoppers Crossings Stadium in Hogan's Road, Hoppers Crossing. We are playing against NPL2 outfit Werribee in the FFA Cup. Get down there if you can, South fans. This team is starting to build something. We want to keep the momentum going. We can't take Werribee lightly. They are an NPL2 team. For them, it's a huge game. It's also a huge game for us. We want to have a cup run. We have the team and the squad, I think, to go far in the cup. So let's get behind the team on Saturday. Let's get out there to Hoppers Crossing. Let's support the lads and let's continue the momentum. Go South!